before, I can say in the last 10 years. So this is very important. Two good issues, human rights versus civil rights, that we got to bring to the forefront. Now is the time.
Okay, thank you, Dr. McCorvey. All right, the second item for the year of 2021 is dealing with U.S. government certification and contracts. That'll be for the month of April, May, and June. April, May, and June. Dr. Mike McCorvey Sr. will also head this up, and he will bring in designated people on these days here during the month of April, May, and June. April the 5th through the 12th, May the 3rd through the 10th, 17th, June the 7th, 14th, and 21st. Then on the 28th and 29th will be day of certification. That means on that day, all of the people that have attended over the past 3 months should be able to state emphatically they are qualified and prepared to fill out the information and request that certification. And perhaps during this time period, they should have filled out their paperwork, and Dr. McCorvey went over their paperwork, checked their paperwork in and out, and all they have to do on the days of June the 28th, 29th, and 30th is some of them should be done sent that paperwork already in. They should be able on June the 28th, 29th, and 30th. That's at the end of those 3 months, April, May, and June. April, May is and part of June is preparation and filling out paperwork, getting ready. But on June the 28th, 29th, and 30th, we should have 5 or 6, 7, 8, however many people that's been attending these conferences qualify for their certification. Go ahead, talk about it.
Absolutely, Brother Howard. That's a main ingredient toward building our economy. These is how to prepare for federal contracting and grants. How to prepare for federal contracting and grants. During that period of time, I have a PowerPoint that I do, and I actually attended the PowerPoint on and paid for the PowerPoint on federal contracts and grants in Washington, D.C. Well, actually, it was in Arlington. Back in 2018, I did a study. I did a study in our nation's capital on federal grants and contracts. And I am actually a certified federal contractor myself. And we want to talk about during this period of time how to obtain these contracts. What's the certification guidelines? We want to talk about businesses that's needing these contracts. What business can apply for these contracts? What certification you need to have in place? We want to talk about even on a more local level. Do I have my LLC? Do I have the right type of incorporation? Am I qualified to be a 501c3 tax exempt organization? What does it take for me to have all of my, as we say in old school, ducks in a row to obtain these type of contracts? And most of these federal contracts pay out. The payout is very good. Over the years, we've had some discrepancies of the white and black issue when it comes to even federal contracts. Back in 2017, I was at the hearing in 2017 when we went to pointing out, and this was in back again. We're back in D.C. again. Pointing out to the Executive Board of National Contracts by the government, I'm one of the main ones pointing out to them that we cannot allow, just because Susie, who is a white American, but she's considered on paperwork with the government a minority. We cannot allow this type of behavior from our white counterparts to continue. They were stealing contracts right from under our nose. Just because what was happening is that they were taking the contracts and giving them to their quote unquote white husband, and saying, hey, look, we have these contracts here and and she takes the contracts and she gives them to her husband, who's a white American, and that's illegal. I have caught their hands in the cookie jar like that so many times. And I did a call. I did that call to let them know that, hey, we're not going to allow this to happen because you're depriving people that actually need these contracts, number one. And a lot of these contracts were set aside just for minority vendors. Yes, we understand that they have, according to our Constitution, acknowledged white women as minorities. But when they take the contracts and give them to their husband or their family member that's not in the system as a minority, that's when they go beyond the line, and we have to draw the line. So I do a lot of investigative reports on this subject matter to make sure that things are done right and our people get what they're supposed to get.
Okay. All right. The third item that we're going to need to cover is for the month of July, August, and September. This is dealing with radio media information about National Association of Black Defenders. We need to work up radio spots for, number one, civil rights plus human rights commercial. We need to work up a spot for government contracts and federal grants and how you get grant. That's a commercial. A 30-second spot, a minute spot, 90-second spot. The next item will be on a radio spot for if you want to be a radio announcer. You want to bring your radio station on as a supporter and arm of NAB. How you get that done, who you contact, what you got to do to get that done. And finally, and not least, the last one will be work number 4 for the month of November, December. October, November, and December. This would deal with specifically VA, the VA. This would be Ms. Merkin, facilitator, along with Dr. McCorvey. It's just about Veterans Affairs, the status, all the things that you need, racial discrimination. These are commercials. This time is be spent totally on learning about the VA and what you need to do as a veteran to help yourself. Now that's all of them. That's all of them, Dr. McCoy. All 4 of them. And
that sounds good.
During the radio period, during the third item, which is the radio time, we ain't gonna be doing nothing but cutting commercials, getting commercials, running commercials, getting them disseminated on Facebook, putting them on YouTube, putting them everywhere that we can post them about the National Association of Between a word. You can just say a word from the National Association of Black Defenders on BA benefits, a word from the National Association of Black Defenders on government contracts and being certified, a word from the National Association of Black Defenders, all your rights under the VA, a word from the National Association of Black Defenders on human rights versus civil rights. Do you know your rights? Commercials like that, and then a commercial saying, do you want to be a broadcaster for the National Association of Black Defenders? That's what I'm talking about. We got to put all this stuff together. Now, the first thing that you need to send out, item number 4, send that when you look on your copy of what I just sent you, Dr. McCorvey.
Right.
Number 4, that's the last one. Go down there and send that entire thing to Miss Merkin. Even though I got Miss Murphy there need to be Miss Merkin. You put on a date to be set by Miss
Merkin, okay,
and facilitator Dr. McCoy. You all will determine them dates. Whenever you all determine the date, I go into the recording mode of what you all talking about and what you're going to do. You call the radio station and you go for it. And I record it, and then we get to sending it out.
Sounds good. That looks good, man.
That's it in a nutshell. That's all of them. Only one, we did Miss Edna Gooch and we did Miss Twyla for VA. Now, this is number 4 item down here at the bottom goes to Miss Twyla. Let me read the entire thing for you. Calendar 2021, months of October, November, and December 2021. Date to be set by Ms. Merkin, facilitator, and Dr. Mike McCorvey, Sr. Ms. Merkin, the facilitator, facility president, she know what she do. She just make it happen.
Right.
Racial discrimination is at the top of the line. Veteran status discrimination in form of discrimination in violation of federal and state laws involving harassment based upon veteran status. The form of discrimination may be inadvertent or intentional. It may be obvious or subtle, but regardless of the fact, it is in many cases against the law. Racial discrimination is an act of making unjust distinction between human beings based on the group, class, other categories which you're talking about, gay, homosexual, lesbian, whatever you is, black, green, purple, whatever your color is, Indian, Jew, Gentile. Folks discriminate on all them kind of bases. That's what needs to be covered in November, December, and January. In other words, she can start now, October, November, and December. When y'all come on the radio, y'all can talk about what you're going to be doing in October, November, and December. Putting this stuff together. Am I hitting it on the hammer on the head? Dr. McCorvey.
Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah. I don't want to appear to be overbearing, but we just got to get the facts straight and get it down.
That's it, my brother. And at the same time, I am sending you some emails now, even on the inauguration next year. I'm sending you some emails now, okay?
That's in regards to what?
The president.
Oh, okay. Is that you or me?
Just sent them to me.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. I was getting a sound like some kind of machine or something coming on, but I guess that's something else. I don't know what it is. But anyway.
Awesome.
It's all right here in a nutshell. And we done covered Miss Gouch and Miss Twyla. Well, here's the thing. Go ahead, doctor.
No, what I was going to say is that basically all we have to do now is make sure that we connect with our people that
don't be participating?
Yes. Make sure that we do a connection with them. And I got you right here.
Hey, look here. We go to work January 11th at 6 p.m. now. That's on human rights versus civil rights. Now, it can't be that bullshit where folks don't be calling in like they were doing during the radiothon. Whoever supposed to be talking about human rights and civil rights, they got to call in, Dr. McCorvey.
Exactly. They got to call in.
And then what? And guess what?
Board members.
Wait a minute. Begin to invite other people that ain't on the board that can talk about human rights and civil rights.
Sure, exactly. And you know what? I'm going to go ahead and start building that platform right now.
Yeah, because it kicks off January 11th. And then the next one takes place January 15th. Then the next one takes place March the 1st.
Exactly.
And then the final planning thing is March the 22nd.
That's right.
And the actual live conference all over the world take place on March the 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. That's where we be on the line with folks calling in from all over the world, just like we did the radiothon.
Mm-hmm.
But all the time up until March the 28th, January and February, we be planning them and meeting and talking and having radio shows. Then on the big thing come off on March the 21st. That's when you bring in some kind of special guest. I don't know who that'll be. Somebody to blow the wheels off the vehicle. I don't know who you gonna find, but you got to bring somebody in with a power player then, so to speak.
Yeah, well, this is my thing right here, and I'm reaching out this morning. This is my thing right here, is that each month during our event months, which is 12 months, each month we should have a special guest to come on for each program. You know, it won't be you and I all the time, or it won't be Dr. Howard all the time, or Herman all the time, but we should have a special guest. What you think about that? Special guest that will come on each month and be highlighted on the show. Yeah,
especially for January, February, and March. Now in February, Black History Month, have the person, the person on the board that is responsible for human rights and civil rights. That's Dr. Clayton. Now, have him get some folks.
Yes. I can do that.
And they ain't got to be preachers.